On January 27th of 2025, my brother passed away from cancer just 1 week ago. And I felt compelled to share my experience with my complicated relationship with my brother and his passing and what I've learned from that. And I hope you find some value in my story. My brother was 61 years old, and he left 6 kids, 2 grandchildren. Both my parents are still alive, me and my brother and our families. And so it was a big hit for our family. It was heartbreaking. And yeah, so this is part of my healing and grieving process. So I appreciate your patience. My brother and I had a complicated relationship. He was an avid reader from 4 years old on, and he was more well-read than most adults by the time he was 8. His use of language and his ease through which he went through school was not like my experience at all. And he did get some specialness for that, and it didn't feel always justified, but we were treated differently, and I felt less than. I was sensitive, and I felt less than. And we had a great childhood, though, but when my brother hit puberty, things kind of changed. He got a little mean, and he also, I don't know how much I should tell you about this, but you know what? The truth, I believe, is the best thing. He got into drugs pretty young, and I followed him right into that culture, and I got all caught up in it. And in that inner environment of drug and alcohol use, when you have a problem, is that you begin to live a double life. You have this internal world of fear, and now they call it anxiety, but it's the same thing. And you also are so afraid of what people think of you, that you try to put this mask onto the world that you're not afraid and full of anxiety. And the use of, from my experience, the use of drugs and alcohol helped me to manage those feelings and those emotions. And it worked for managing those emotions, and putting that, it was easier to put the face on with that medicine. And it's a lonely experience. It's a lonely experience. If you know it, you know. If you don't, that's as well as I can explain it. And I know, I used to think my brother did not experience that. I thought he didn't have those sensitivities and was totally comfortable in his life and who he was. And as the years went by, it was clear that he was hiding. And he continued on that path for many years. And I was fortunate enough to get sober 20 years ago. And find some peace. And he never did. And it made for a complicated relationship because for many years he had a very difficult time in life. And that double life, it was dishonest. And my family was really in denial. And he knew that I knew what was really going on. So he was afraid of me. He didn't want to be exposed. And and he was having some real troubles, and I knew about them, and they were pretty severe life challenges. And we had a tough number of decades there where we didn't have much of a relationship. And I harbored resentment and anger to see my family not tell the truth about what's really going on. And it was tough. It was tough. I'm conflicted on how detailed to get, but suffice it to say, he was creating a lot more shame and guilt than, which took a lot more energy to hide. I don't know how better to explain it, but when I found out he had cancer about 4 months ago, maybe 5, as soon as he told me, all of my feelings about his struggles, my sensitivities to his struggles, my sensitivities to the differences we were treated by the family, poof, gone. And I realized that I really, really loved my brother. And he went down pretty fast. None of the treatments helped at all. And as he started passing, it was clear that he was probably not going to survive. He found some peace. I think he let it all go. In fact, I know he did. He let it all go. And he died peacefully. And his wife was an absolute saint. She took care of him till the very end. And his kids were all wonderful. And he said to me a couple weeks before he passed, he said, I want you to talk about God. If there's a memorial for him, of course there is. And then, which is funny because I'd never spoken to my brother at all about God. And I thought about it for a short period, and I realized that I see God in his kids. I see God in his wife. I see God in the love of my family. I see God in the clarity of love that I see and feel, letting go of things that really don't matter. In the end, none of those resentments or opinions about other people and our place in hierarchies and families, none of it matters. None of it matters. And his wife said to me the day before he passed, she said, the last 3 months have been the most difficult in my life, but I've never felt the presence of God more. And Monday night, the 27th, I was driving home. I had the radio off. And again, one more time, I told my brother that I love him out loud, just by myself, and that I am sorry for the years that I wasted in my shortcomings and abilities to process my own spiritual state of mind, my own spiritual condition, and that he had a beautiful life, and he's leaving behind a whole family of beautiful, really kind, loving people. And when I got home, my mom called and said that he had just passed. And so I guess my message is that let it all go. Love is the answer. It's sad that it took my brother's passing to learn this lesson, but love is the answer. Unconditional love. I love my brother and my family and my wife and the people in my life unconditionally, unless I make it about me. So I hope you found some value in my story. Peace.